That might make it to the finals.
The risk is so high, the intensity is definitely getting to us. I hope it does not get to them. But for the team lineup for EVOS Glory, we have the main five. For Rebellion, Cars, Vincent, Suelo, Audi, TZ, and D.
This lineup with D, not Moai, usually is the lineup they deploy up against teams who have better macro. So, let's see if Rebellion can take that advantage in the macro.
They're confident with the prodigy in their roster. In the gold lane with D, will they be able to clinch a playoff spot? Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome, it is a Rebellion Esports.
They need this win. They desperately need this win if they want to make it to playoffs. So let's see the opening that they have in store for us.
In Kadir we trust.
In Kadir we trust. So a lot of parallels have been drawn from Audi TZ to Kadir. I think it's an Indonesian comedian, but he has the same kind of way that he talks, etc. And that's what they refer to Audi TZ to this season, Kadir. So in Kadir we trust means we're placing our trust to Sir Audi TZ.
On the other side, another blue stands in their way. Will they be able to make the blue bulls blue? Ladies and gentlemen, it is the White Tigers, EVOS Glory.
One more match is all it takes. Amongst all the doubt, amongst all the hate, this team has risen from the ashes and made themselves known to everyone. Imagine that, going on a lose streak, several matches in a row, and now it only takes one more match. But they have to overthrow the rage and the might of the Blue Bulls.
It definitely feels like EVOS Glory. If we take a look at the entire season, it feels like it's their story. It feels like it's their protagonist era. Starting the season with -4 with their previous lineup, and then when this lineup got deployed, instant success with Coach Stratic, as I like to call him, but you know, his real name is Strategy, and Caleb, and Rebellion, also with Chico and Vivi.
It's gonna be an interesting...
what about the Marshal?
Oh, Mr. Danang!
Yep.
I can't believe I forgot.
Danang?
That was disrespectful by me. I've got to apologize.
Say it again then. Say it
Mr.
twice.
Danang.
Danang.
It's Danang.
Danang.
Like the last airbender, Danang.
Shout out Leo.
Okay. But let's take a look at the head-to-head between both of these teams, because now we've seen them perform for several weeks straight. Let's talk about their weaknesses. What do they need to improve?
In the later stage of the game, their macro, it seems like they can't develop, they can't utilize the force errors as much as other teams in the top echelon, upper echelon of MPL Indonesia Season 13. But we'll get to that in the Keys to Victory, presented by Samsung Galaxy S24 for EVOS Glory. Number one, don't ego draft. They have a tendency to ego draft up against a lot of teams that you would usually see respect for. Up against RRQ, they didn't ban the Claude. It ended up with a game win for RRQ. Up against just recently, Aura, both Kabuki and Yaoi got their heroes, so they need to respect Rebellion's power heroes. Number two, play with a proactive playstyle, not reactive, and brands get space. EVOS gets playoffs. I love that line. Shoutouts to Mr. Dika backstage, but play with proactiveness. That's something that EVOS Glory need to play with. They've been able to find so much success through the proactive maneuvers around the map in the early game. But when they are reactive, it feels a bit more 50-50 because they have to wait for brands to get to a certain power spike before they make crazy proactive plays, and by that time, it could be too late, especially up against the Blue Bulls who charge all the way from the early game. And that's why they need to commit to one gameplay. It's either pick off or team fight, mainly in the draft itself, because we have seen Rebellion pull off some nasty team fight compositions with the Roger, the Florid, and then picking up an Edith or Yu Zhang to just force the enemy team to fight. You either fight or you lose out the objective, and it's all about that early game decision making where they can force these fights out from their opponents that makes them so strong. Number 2, time to unleash the pocket or cheese picks. A lot of criticism has been sent to RBL's way in the early weeks of Season 13 because it just felt like you're not in a desperate spot yet. You're still looking for points. Why go for the Hanzo? Why go for these crazy picks? Even the Terizla. But now is the time. If you want to get a win, if you want to shock your opponent, throw a curveball. Desperate times call for desperate measures. They need 2 wins to make it a playoffs.
And that's just it, right? I mean, if we take a look at this poster even, Clash or Unite, we talked about this a little bit before as well. The fact that we've never seen both of these teams make it to the playoffs. It's either always been just Rebellion or just EVOS. You can even see from the history all the way from Season 8 up until Season 12. But for Season 13, will we finally see a different story?
Let's see, right? Will the trend continue for both of the teams? But it's so coincidental that it's always been either or.
It's just star-crossed lovers.
Star-crossed
You know,
lovers.
Romeo and Juliet.
The new one? With Tom Holland?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any of them. I think they have the same premise.
Oh yeah? I thought it might be different, but yeah, for them it's been the same relatively. Maybe we might have a new take on that Romeo and Juliet story with Season 13, just like we're seeing in real life with Tom Holland. For Season 13, could they possibly make it out to playoffs together? Or the drama, will they both not qualify? Man,
All the time.
because of his team and my team.
Oh, yeah. I understand. But we are moments away, ladies and gentlemen, of getting into the drafting phase where the mind games will begin. Will we see key strats coming through for Rebellion like we saw in the keys to victory? Will that be the solution that they desperately need at this point of the season? EVOS first pick, Rebellion with the second, Roger, Yuzong, Luo Yi banned out. So this is quite different. Rebellion, Paris, Xborg, and Angela. Why did you go for the Young?
Well, we literally just said they need to commit onto team fights or pickoffs. And I also mentioned Roger.
Rebellion. Not really sure what's happening here, but we do have the Barats in place, secured by Rebellion. It's to prevent too much of a fluidity choice for Annabelle.
And again, usually want to combine the Barats with the Matilda. But no, they instantly picked the Moskov. I was about to say, if you have D, a player that is so comfortable on this Moskov, you know what? I like it. I like it.
Man, I've seen this level of cryo in ranked games as well. I didn't know if it actually translates over towards MPL ID, but the Moskov has been super cryo in ranked games. When the Roger is banned out, you want to pick up this Moskov because the Moskov will be able to scale. And at this point, we're actually seeing a new development for the Moskov. We usually thought really want to hold them off from that team fight. It's all about that early game dominance.
They're also perhaps maybe anticipating that Rebellion could pick up something like the chip. So in case that they do that, they're going and giving a warning, a poster warning, like, hey, Yes, you can pick up chip here. It's not been banned. We didn't go for the ban. We went for Louis instead. But if you do, we have the Carmilla, and you've seen the chip fail against our Carmilla in particular, especially in the hands of Dreams.
A very good anticipation pick there, but I really like what they are doing here, right? Rebellion, they grab more space with the Novaria. Sure, a standard pick would be Matilda. Again, Barat's Matilda would be a very aggressive early game, but with the Novaria, what it does, it actually balances.
The best gold laner? What? Sorry, what? What did you say?
I didn't say that.
Oh, okay. I misheard. I want to face EVOS because we lost to them in the last meeting. Yes, hopefully EVOS does make it to the playoffs.
Same. Whatever he says, I agree. You know, I have to agree. But back to EVOS, wow, a chip ban despite picking the Carmilla. And going back to my point, early game dominance is what they look for, even when they have a Natan. Natan, this guy's going to be playing weak side all the time. Everyone else will be looking for fights and looking to get that snowball rolling from the start. That's why the Carmilla and the Valentina. For RBL, they need to respect that assassin potential, but also they need to respect the potential of Annabelle on the Fredrin. If he gets his hands on a Fredrin, and especially if Fluffy gets his hands on his comfort pick, the X-Borg up against the Barats here, it's
just they're hovering around to see the possibilities, but if EVOS does not pick an assassin, Novaria can definitely go to their own position.
Okay, another respect ban here from EVOS, denying away that early game pressure that Rebellion is known for, but the Kaja is still available, but they go for the Edith. So back to that.
Yeah, they're still trying to go for that team fighting composition, and what is good about the Edith here is that it's flex. Technically for the Edith and the Barat, it's still flex. And we have seen Rebellion utilize both these picks as pretty good flex. Barat goes to the XP, Edith goes to the Rom, and then they go pick up a new jungler and can go, you know, all the other ways as well. So for EVOS, it does get them in a tough spot. I think they shouldn't try to fully counter Rebellion. Instead, they should just work on in jungle.
Interesting. What are they fishing for here? Rebellion. Are they anticipating that the Dairoth can win against Barrett in the EXP lane?
Or the
Are they
Edith.
looking for the...
Or the Edith in the XP.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's still flex. Or they might pick up like a Paquito here technically. They could pick up another XP and then flex it all around.
What do you think the last pick is going to be?
You know what?
The EXP lane. What do you think about the compositions?
I think for Rebellion, they have a more balanced composition. For EVOS, it's much more protect Mr. President. But also, I really want to question the Dairoth pick, right? Because we were talking about the X-Board, maybe other picks for Fluffy, but we didn't think about the Dairoth at all. And especially here, because for Dairoth, usually you pick him up when you have a physical damage dealer that can deal even more damage with that second skill for Dairoth that reduces physical defense. Now I wonder who that's going to be comboed with, because Fredrin, I don't think he's...
Smash
will
them.
give the White Tigers their running chance for the playoffs stage. Welcome to the Land of Dawn for game
Welcome
number
to
1
Mobile
in the
Legends.
Battle of the Blues. Let's get it.
Taking a look at this game so far. My bad, by the way. The expert was banned already in the first phase. Didn't notice it quite late. Before the Dairoth pick, let's take a look at how this Dairoth actually plays out. So he actually does go Quantum Charge. I think he does want to go for a little bit more of an aggressive style here up against Cars to possibly go for invades early with the Carmilla too. You can see Dreams already start things off very aggressively. And D as well with the Quantum Charge, but this time no crazy.
Off. I think they want to deny Rebellion from working in their comfort, which is that tempo in the early game. But later on, is that going to backfire onto them?
For EVOS? I think we'll just have to see here the way that they play it out, because for Fluffy, I don't know how he's building, because based on the emblems, it should be more of a at least semi-tank build if he wants to be a bit more defensive. But they'll have enough damage for both physical and magical if they look for these proactive movements, and that technically for the keys to victory, that's what we are expecting from EVOS.
Both teams already, Daytona's welcome already invested. The top side, Falcon flickers out. Good taunt for Vincent. Maybe the first one to fall.
So instantly, right, you get that trigger and all things wreak havoc. With those trades on the board, who is it worth it for?
Oh, technically with that,
Wow.
I guess you can say it's Rebellion. They have the gold lead, Suelo gets the purple buff, they get an advantage in kills, and it's traded for the turtle. Realistically, it's more equal. There's no real win for the side, but technically because of those resources, Rebellion will be able to utilize that purple buff now with Suelo also getting a kill and an assist to look for more pickoffs on the map or just to read the move.
Coming through from Suelo, the fact that he was able to steal that purple buff did give them a big advantage. And we'll see how they're going to be able to translate it after this 3rd minute.
It seems like Rebellion definitely have a buff of their own so far after playing in the Hero Tournament, playing super well here with this composition too. This is a normal comp that we are used to seeing from Rebellion in that competition. So maybe they've been saving a lot of these strats. Speaking of the XP, we did see how lethal this burst could be from the Dairoth. But again, he's a bit glass cannon. So if he does dive in deep later on in these team fights, he's going to have to pick and choose the moments to actually deal damage. He can get bursted.
Like an assassin Dairoth, you would say?
Almost. That's why I'm waiting for the build, because
defensive Rivers Fighter, not a good signal there for the Blue Bulls to set this turtle up prematurely as well. As Rebellion now, they are still hovering around trying to grab space. EVOS Glory with 5 now already, the top side. Rebellion looking for a contest. It seems like they will not have space. Brands securing the 2nd turtle of the game.
good turtle take by EVOS Glory. Instant response from Rebellion. Two Dreadnought armors already though for the side of Rebellion, and one steel leg plate for RBTZ. Trying to hold on from that early damage, which will mostly come through Annabelle and Fluffy. But as Clawkun continues to build these magic damage items, that's where they need to really prioritize some more magic.
Body caught though. Rebellion wasn't able to recover. They were looking for that top.
Nothing. EVOS gonna be able to pick up a little bit of that gold lead as Dreams looking for another play, perhaps?
Here, Florian towards Brands, Inspire locked in, and Brands is able to be locked down. D with practically the solo.
So that is a trade over for Brands, slightly slowing the fact that he could potentially go for a snowball, but it does shut him down and put him in his place.
Rebellion though, the fact that they were able to take Brands down as well and then clear up the wave, they shoved in the lane, and now Brands, he's actually rotating towards the turtle side. They get a mid turret too, so incredible value as Rebellion put themselves in a good spot to go for this turtle. This is a Rebellion turtle, should be.
Yep, perfect turtle. No more for EVOS Glory as Rebellion picks up the final. And EVOS Glory, they are the ones looking.
Have they reached that mid power?
Yes, they have. The NOD and the Enchanted Talisman for Sway Low. He's playing more utility as the burst damage will actually come from everyone. Even RBTZ at this point can deal so much damage, and take a look at that. Right after the leg plates, go straight for the Radiant Armor, and that is what everyone almost is going for as well. The Barat and even Lapu, cars with the Radiant already. Now we're just waiting on Vincent to secure his Radiant again.
Wow. Did he get it again? To utilize the retribution to prevent those steals from happening.
Whoa! Spirit Glory will not be committed as D will grab the turret top lane. Wow! Rebellion is toying with EVOS Glory right now.
So this is why it's a take on the side lane pressure. Usually, for the most part, I think in the last 3 seasons, we usually see the XP lane who goes into the lane and clears it out. But now with the Moskov having so much global pressure, because of the Spear of Destruction, we're seeing the Moskov actually do the dirty work of cleaning out these side waves, getting the macro advantage for the team, and staying safe with it. Because technically at this point, Brands cannot go up there to 1v1 him. Fluffy can, but D is building already to
Blue Bulls, wait a minute. Okay. And that's going to be a purple buff taken in from D, but back to that point, this is already the perfect scenario for Rebellion. They've been able to amount for an advantage, but Annabelle gonna go for the contest. He's a level below Vincent at the moment. If he reaches that level 12, Vincent should be able to pick up that 13. But it looks like EVOS want to commit still.
EVOS Glory here. Still Perhaps looking for an angle here with Fluffy as well on the top side. Good talk on towards Cars. But take a look at Audi. Now Spear of Destruction connects and take a look at D. He is going crazy with that one kill. Brands though will find that kill as well, but the Lord will fall to the hands of the Rebellion side.
Utilize the force errors, but at that point they've already gotten the Lord so low to a point where EVOS knew, you know what, we're just gonna stay decisive, we're gonna Lord from resetting and you won't be able to play macro advantage. So D was walking up top. He decided to just go for the fight. So for the most part in that fight, they split the fight up. D went to the bottom side, going on to Brands with the Spear of Destruction teleport, and the rest of them just kind of got wiped up top. Luckily, it's still very worth it for Rebellion. Their carry still stayed alive, no shutdowns given towards EVO's glory, and they get the Lord. So they'll be able to utilize this Lord advantage with a lot more pressure coming down on EVOS.
Disaster Echo spots 4. Annabelle is there as well. Good airborne there towards Dreams, but EVO's glory, they will be able to handle the Lord. This is the first Lord, mind you. Rebellion. Annabelle, oh my goodness, D! With the burst and attack speed, he'll be able to just melt Annabelle down. A first base turret taken from EVOS.
Wonderfully beautiful by Rebellion. That 80th pick just going and finding so much value this game. Pops the Primal Wrath because they want to threaten the turret take. Annabelle tries to frontline, but it's very different when you try to frontline up against an Edith compared to any other roamer. You get immobilized and you get bursted down, not just by the Moscow, but even by the Primal Wrath.
Good immobilize! And is
Let's take a little update into the items here.
Yeah, shout out to D. He had the Magic Blade in the Lord fight and he completed the Rose Gold that enabled him to survive in that fight. But I want to focus on Brands here because there's so much magic defense already for the side of Rebellion. He needed to go Divine Glaive. That will severely halt that Holy Crystal power spike from happening. So he's probably going to get it in the 14th minute of the game. And at that point, Rebellion might be able to just build up too big of a goal lead for even Natan to look for a comeback. Looking at this even, Natan won't be able to free hit. Usually, you just take account 2 members from the enemy team that you need to be aware of on the Natan. Now, technically, with the Edith and Lapu, that's 4 members that you need to be aware of in all these team fights. How they disengage, how they engage. To EVOS to just react to the shots. How they actually look for pickoffs, that's, I guess, their key to victory at this point. Either they turtle in their base, look for like a defense and wait for a mistake, or they go for a pickoff. But I don't think a pickoff will come in right here. Rebellion look too clean right now.
The mind games. That's definitely the key point at the moment, but Brands just secured his Holy Crystal. Very close.
Like goes fall. For the wipeout, Annabelle in a no man's land, looking for a defense, looking to escape, but D will focus on the turret and Rebellion. They will have say in the first game.
Who needs that power spike? It doesn't even matter if you get the Holy Crystal power spike for brands. If you're instantly deleted off the map by the Moskov, steered in by D. That last Malefic Roar coming through, that was just like his signal to go ham, go into the team fight. And at some point, I could have sworn that they anticipated that. EVOS anticipated that move. They had a 3-man rotation towards that bottom side, anticipating that Moskov would go for the split, but they didn't commit. They decided otherwise. They decided to commit onto the Lord, and Rebellion were able to get the advantage out of that.
Like I said, in these team fights, if EVOS call the shots, they cannot win. They need to react to the shots made by Rebellion, but that puts them in a tough spot when they are 6,000 gold behind. But they found the window to bait out the entropy, smack them right after that with the engage, and D. The accuracy on the Spear of Destruction. He's been shooting it from the opposite side of